Hey Razvan, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, I'm glad to be here, and thanks a lot for inviting and taking interest in what we do.
Always a
Yeah.
pleasure. For those who do not know you yet, can you give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you are building?
Sure. So first of all, as you mentioned, my name is Razvan. I'm from Romania, and as a profession, I'm a web developer. Uh, I've always been passionate about combining, let's say, development with business, and I've always tried to build my own things from the very beginning. When I started to program, I tried to build a lot of, I don't know, micro SaaS apps or things. I usually had a very specific task that I was doing, and I usually try to code something for that. Um, and In 2020, I tried my real first startup. It was Web 2 startup, no no Web 3 there, but uh, just to sum it up really quick, it was a tool intended for digital marketing agencies to help them in the feedback process. You could basically load the website into the app and click on different elements, change style, text, start a feedback thread there, and you could basically improve the feedback process, for example, between the agency and the clients. And but it didn't really work out. Uh, I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, but it was a very good learning experience, and I've learned a lot. And after that, I had a few free months, and I really started to get involved into the Elrond ecosystem. And I started initially like joining some projects, starting to be active in the community in Discord, and things like that. And that kind of brings us to to the present.
How did you stumble across the Elrond network? Because in 2020 there were, I mean, right now there are even more blockchains and more solutions, but yeah.
Like that was kind of 1 year later in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm from Romania, being a Romanian startup. Like people know
These
about
days
it.
it's getting harder and harder to get around the Elrond network.
Exactly. Really, how I learned about it, I think like from multiple places, like LinkedIn, friends, social media. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, it was hard to miss, and especially like being from from Romania. Yeah.
What do you think are the biggest advantages of the Elrond network compared to other blockchains?
So, like when we started to build on it, a few things attracted us. First of all, was the technology. I mean, it's fast, it's cheap, and that opens a lot of opportunities, like to integrate it and build like real day-to-day apps on it. Um, and Also the focus of the team for for user experience. For example, I'm thinking here of the Maya app, for example. Like it's a really important step in creating a smoother onboarding process for regular users, because like people that don't have anything to do with blockchain, they have a very hard time understanding, okay, what's a wallet? How can I keep it safe? And so on. So I think Maya is doing a great job in this direction. And also, like another thing was kind of the opportunity, because at the time we started, like almost 1 year ago, NFTs were just launching on Elrond, and there weren't a lot of projects, and we kind of took that as an opportunity to come here and learn together with others and basically build here and build I don't know, the tools that we need and contribute to the ecosystem however we can. So yeah, we've also seen a challenge in this.
As a developer building on the Elrond network, you perform a certain set of tasks. From your personal point of view, just as a user, what are the day-to-day tasks that you need to perform, and what do you need to perform them the best you can?
So I'll try to do my best as a user, let's say. But for example, I'm thinking right now because of the lack of time, because of course, most of my time goes into the project and building there. But I'm also trying to remain active in the entire ecosystem and in other projects. And there are like really some projects that I really like, and I really want to be able to still be there and kind of support and be up to date with what's happening there. So for me, some tools that are really important, and I'm glad that some start to pop up, are some tools that kind of on one hand aggregate different data from the blockchain in a very simple way to check and see and different metrics, and that it's very helpful because otherwise it's very hard to understand. I mean, the data is public, is there, but it's very, very hard to check it and takes a lot of time. And on the other hand, different tools that, for example, let's take for NFTs, OmniScam tools, for example. It's a great tool to basically get an overview of the entire NFTs ecosystem and on specific projects, basically how they do. I don't know if there are important shifts in prices or in basically it allows you to keep an overview over the ecosystem, and I think that's an important set of tools for me. And in the other direction, as a builder, as a developer building on Elrond, and I've said this multiple times, and I think like everyone is aware of it, and it's a process, of course. Smart contracts and dApp templates or different building blocks that basically allows you to, on one hand, push things faster, and on the other hand, let's say, make them better. Because if, for example, you work on a service for 1 year, and there's a project, a company that's only focusing on building that very specific service, of course, it probably will end up better than you building it in 1-2 months or something like that. And in this direction, as I said, we also try to bring our contribution, because in the end, I think it's all our duty as projects, independent builders, and also the Elrond team, of course, but not only the Elrond team, to contribute to the ecosystem and build things, because in the end, we are just like a very, very big team working towards some common goals. With that, we also try to, push different open source resources. We've also partnered, for example, and with the NF team by creative team to unite forces, for example, in building different dApp templates that we can publish and help other projects and developers, and also, of course, the xDevHub, where I really tried to pull everything together in one place, and that was with the resources. But now we are also working on another feature for the for the hub. I won't tell right now a lot of things about it, but some sneak peeks and stuff will pop up probably next month. Yeah.
From your current perspective, which tool or application is currently still missing from the Elrond network that you would like to see implemented next?
Sure. So, like as I previously said, I think it's in the area of some building blocks that allows you to build faster and iterate faster, and even like have a better experience. So, of course, if you look on other chains, there are some apps. For example, let's take something like Web3 Out from Ethereum, for example. That basically what it does, it allows you to create a non-custodial wallet with your Google account, for example, and that's a very good thing for people that don't have anything to do with blockchain and they just want to use blockchain but don't want to don't want to see how a wallet work, how they need to keep it safe and things like that. Or for example, Third Web that basically provides a set of SDK and pre-built smart contracts template and things like that you can very easily deploy from an interface, manage them from there. And for example, I don't know, you want a minting smart contract, okay, done. Or you want a staking smart contract, done. And you can manage them from a nice UI interface. But I think like really people are aware of this, and I think people are like making efforts to go there. But of course, it's a process. These apps didn't end up on other chains. I don't know, next month they launched, of course. So as I think most of us are aware, and as I previously said, it's a process, and we are getting there, and we are really, I can see a great improvement. For example, from 6 months ago, like the standard, I think, really increased, and people are pushing better and better apps and more quality stuff out there, and also more resources are being published. More projects are pushing open source stuff, and yeah, the list can go on. In the end, the trend like looks very, very positive on this side.
We've talked about the advantages, but there are always some things to improve. For you currently, maybe as a developer, speaking as a developer, what is the biggest pain point for you when it comes to the Elrond network that you would like to get rid of as quickly as possible?
Yeah, so one pain point, I'm not sure what really how can we get rid of it, but of course, as I said, it's a process, is the fact that there aren't so many like Elrond builders or Elrond developers. There are some good ones, but I mean, most of them are busy building their own stuff. So it's hard. Of course, you can take any developer and I don't know, learn the Elrond specifics, but it takes some time, especially if he doesn't have any like blockchain experience at all. So this would be something, and in this direction, we also try to push some things out with the hub, especially like to improve the onboarding process for developers and make it, for example, I don't know, if you maybe right now it takes you 4 months to get up to speed with what's happening to Elrond. Okay, let's try to push that to 2 months, for example. How can we do that? Okay, making a lot of resources more accessible, building some tutorials, online courses and things like that. So yeah. But yeah, that would be one thing. And as I said previously, the absence of templates, I don't know, building blocks, and the fact that, again, maybe, I don't know, on other network where there are different services, we can build something in, I don't know, 1 week, and maybe here, because you need to also build a service behind, it takes you, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, something like that. But again, as I said, the trend in both these directions looks good, and I'm sure in, I don't know, 6 months from now, these pain points, let's say, will look a lot better.
Maybe let's stay with that and look a bit into the future. 6 months from now, where do you see the Elrond network?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. So, like, I'll try to answer this by comparing where it was maybe 6 months from now. And I think, like, in 6 months, as I said before, there was a very, very positive trend in one thing was, for example, the, I don't know, project quality and the overall expectations of the users. I think it really increased their expectations, and I think there are some really nice apps popping up right now, and also, like, from a user experience, they have nice UI, they have nice, I don't know, flows, and they're easy to use, and yeah. So together with that, I think in 6 months from now, more and more of these apps will start to pop up, and also, like, different services. As I mentioned before, I know you need the service for authentication, you need the service for, I don't know, creating DAOs, you need the service for creating a staking dApp for your collection, you need the service for, I don't know, minting your collection and things like that. And I think more of those things will start to pop up in the next half year probably, and together with that will probably open more doors for people to come and create projects here, because a lot of people are not developers, and of course the fact that developers will have all these tools to, I don't know, as I said, like, I don't know, minting, staking, and so on, will allow them to, I don't know, create different things for people way faster, way cheaper, and this will probably allow more and more projects to come and build here. So to sum up, what I think will change in 6 months, building different things will become more easier. The onboarding process, at least for developers, will probably be better, because they will have access to more stuff and more resources, more tools, and probably the overall adoption will increase with those. I mean, not sure with everything, all of this will happen in 6 months, but of course it will help in that direction.
Yeah. And then lastly, you said that you started out developing for Web 2. Is there anything from the traditional business scene, or maybe even from the time that you were developing for Web 2, that you think would still make sense to be implemented in Web 3, blockchain technology, etc.?
Yeah, that's a very, very nice question. And this time I'll try to answer it not really as a developer, because as a developer, Web 2 with Web 3 is pretty different, and, like, yeah. But what I would bring from the, let's say, traditional world into this would sum up to building projects more like a business. and I'll try to expand on that. What I'm trying to say by that is, first of all, being legal, like pay taxes, have a business, do everything as it's supposed to be, as it's supposed to be done, and by that also includes, like, I don't know, having a business behind, kind of also going public with your identity, because if you want to register a business, they will require your name for that probably, so you won't be able to hide it. And I'm not against, I don't know, hiding your identity, but the only thing that I think comes as an advantage with going public about who you are and who the team is and everything, is that creates some kind of a moral responsibility around that, by giving out your identity, your business, your everything. And what I'm trying to say by that is, and this was also like proven with different social experiments. I think Harvard did one of those, where they tried to test how people will react in the absence of laws and in the absence of any
regulations,
punishments. Yeah, exactly. So for example, you could steal anything and it would be okay, you won't get punished for that. And the results were that people will go crazy in the absence of any rules or anything. Yeah. So I think with the fact that you go public, you also create a moral bond, a moral responsibility with the community, with the projects and everything. And I think that's a good thing to have. Yeah. And also maybe another thing that I would bring from the traditional world would be try to kind of make some kind of a business plan, or so I'm not sure like how deep you should. For example, in the traditional world, if you want to go and ask for an investment, for example, I don't know, they will do a due diligence on you. They will ask you 1 million documents, business plan, and so on. And that's I mean, it's a lot of paperwork, and a lot of it's not really useful, but some things are useful. For example, try to think, okay, you have a project you mint, but how will you sustain the projects after that, for example? Or, so try to create some income streams for the project along the way, for example. Or, try to think it as a real business, because in the end, it is a business.
And then I think lastly, to wrap it up, you've had a look at Entity as well as the pitch deck. What is your first impression? What is your feedback right now? And what would you like to see implemented on Entity in the future?
Yeah, so I think based on what I said previously, I think you know that my feedback is positive, of course, because I mentioned earlier that these kind of tools, I think they are great for helping people on different aspects. For example, I don't know, having an overview of the projects, or being legal, really. So because being a new area, a new domain, you don't know really, okay, what taxes should I pay? In different countries, so in Romania included, laws are very absent, let's say, in this blockchain area. I mean, it's very easy to interpret things, what I'm trying to say, because it's really important to get things right in this area. Going back to your question, I think Entity is trying to do a very great job of helping people stay on top of what's happening in the ecosystem. And I think what you built so far and what you have in the pipeline, it will help a lot of people. Yeah.
Razvan, thank you so much for your time and your input. I wish you all the very best, and hopefully we'll have a chat in the future and see how things have developed.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do this again in 6 months and answer that question again. Sure. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.